Good morning, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. This morning I was thinking about a story in John chapter 4. The story is the encounter of Jesus with a Samaritan woman who has gone during the middle of the day to draw water from a well. Of course, back in that day, you didn't have the indoor plumbing we've got today. Your supply of water each day came from making a journey to whatever the source of water might be, at this place, a well, Jacob's well, and getting that water and hauling it back. Usually that was something done early in the morning or late in the afternoon when it was cool, not in the middle of the heat of the day. But this particular woman had a difficult life, it seems. She had been through relationship after relationship after relationship, 6 marriages, and seems to be a bit of someone who didn't go when all the other women might have gone to the well to draw their water. Wasn't the in crowd who went around and visited and kept up with each other. May have been a bit of an outcast. So Jesus is walking through Samaria, and he stops to talk to this woman at the well. Jesus' disciples have gone off to get some food. Jesus is weary, he's tired, and he asks her to draw him some water. And she responds in kind of a surface way. She does not want a spiritual conversation with Jesus. And that's where Jesus is moving, because Jesus says, at first she says, "Why are you talking to me? I'm a Samaritan and I'm a woman. Those are 2 big strikes against me. You shouldn't be talking to me." And Jesus engages her in a way that shows that Jesus is something more than just Jesus. She says, "Sir, I perceive you're a prophet." And she starts trying to steer this conversation away from anything too close to home. And then Jesus says to her, "If you had known who was talking to you, you would have asked me for water, and I would have given you living water, water that is eternal in nature." And the woman, honestly, she's absolutely clueless at this point still. Ultimately, she figures some of this out, but at this point, she's still utterly clueless. And that's where I want to stop today in the video thought, because this woman was walking through her mundane, everyday life. Doesn't have a good home life. Doesn't seem to have a lot of friends. Is a bit of an outcast. Has that drudgery every day of having to go haul her own water. That's heavy. That's brutal. She's doing it in the heat of the day in a hot country. And if you consider Jesus as Emmanuel, the incarnate God, he walked this earth in that form for a microscopic dot of time in the history of this world. And he did it in only a very small geographic regional place in light of this entire world. What are the odds that that woman, in the midst of her mundane, everyday chores, would have had an encounter with the one who is the pivot point by which dates are made, by which time is understood, by which history and theology and faith are revealed from a Christian manner? The odds are beyond winning the lottery 5 times in a row. Unless you consider the fact that God is always there to enter into our mundane days, maybe not physically in the form of Jesus, but through his Spirit, through his word, through his fellowshipping believers. God always wants to invade the mundane, everyday life we lead with an encounter of a highly personal nature. So as I go about my day to day, I'm going to be looking for my encounter with God, and I hope not to be as blind to it as the Samaritan woman. I hope to catch on quickly and see how God wants to interact with me in the here and now, even if I'm doing nothing more than working to draw water for the day. That's your video thought for today. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.